Right, YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to a brand new Pokemon investing and collecting video. Today, we're doing something a little bit different, and we're actually talking about the Japanese side of Pokemon card collecting, because since coming back from my recent trip to Japan, it's something that's got me really interested in terms of how they stack up to the English counterparts and where the value of these cards currently sit. Now, on top of this, TCG Player has just released a movers and shakers list for Japanese product. And while there aren't a lot of cards on their list, we will run through those, but I've picked out a few extra ones to look at as well, just to see if the Pokemon market from Japan is actually worth investing into, because in my experience, I never really looked into Japanese product until recently when I actually came out there and saw the different prices compared to the English stuff. And, looking at sets like the Glory of Team Rocket and Battle Partners and Heatwave Arena, and seeing what the prices are marked over there versus what the prices are marked here. It's really interesting to me and something I wanted to cover in today's video. But before we jump into it, I just want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is, of course, PokeNotify. Now, PokeNotify is a notification service through a Discord server that's giving you all of the up-to-date notifications of restocks for Pokemon products in your country. Now, this is a global Discord server. You can find products all over the world using this. There is a 3-day trial available down in the description below, and this is going to basically ping you every time there is a restock, and you can set up your settings to notify you only for your country, certain stores, certain products, and a lot more. And if you do end up signing up, there is a discount code in the description as well, which you guys can use for a percentage off. And it does also give you level 1 access to Pokélytics, which is a brand new analytics program that they are doing as well. But with that said, thank you to PokeNotify for sponsoring today's video. Let's jump into these cards. We have 15 to go through, which is a huge list, so it is going to take a minute. So I do apologize if I am going through these quite quickly. I do want to get these out without the video being 20 minutes long. So starting off, we have this full art trainer card. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this name because I don't actually know the character, but this is from VMAX Climax, and to be honest, I don't know what the English counterpart for this was. I would have to look up the set as a whole. This one will probably bring it up. I think it's Brilliant Stars. I want to say, no, it's not. Yes, it is. I was right. It is Brilliant Stars. I apologize. It is Brilliant Stars. So it's one of the Japanese versions. It's the second half of the Japanese version of Brilliant Stars. This card is up 25% in the last 3 months, sitting at $25 currently. And you'll see as we go through this list, the comparisons to the English counterparts, these are much cheaper. But again, their value is not going to be as high because they are a lot easier to grade. They're a lot easier to get your hands on in Japanese. The product isn't selling out as frequently as it is out here or in the States or places like that where there is a huge demand. And even though there's a huge demand in Japan, there's just a massive amount of supply. So starting off with that, moving into the Pikachu, also from VMAX Climax. This is now $46.50. It is up 19.76% in the last 3 months. And there are cards in Japanese that are going down right now, and you will see that at some point if you're looking through like Japanese listings or TCG Player for the Japanese pricing. But it's more so the recent stuff that I've noticed. So right now, the things that are dropping are the Glory of Team Rocket prices, Heatwave Arena prices, Battle Partners prices. All of those things are going down. But the thing you have to keep in mind is they are all brand new sets. Whereas you look at the cards on this list and then the cards that I've added to it, they are the older Japanese sets that are now spiking up in value. So once the market settles on some of these newer Japanese sets, look for them to hit their lows and purchase products at that price, and then see them going up in the future. So that's one thing to keep note of when looking at these. Next up is the Skeledirge EX, which is from Triple Beat SV1A. This is sitting at $32 right now, which I think is more expensive than the English version. I don't know for 100%, don't quote me on that. But again, for this card, it's not a super loved Pokemon, but it's still worth 32 USD, and it's up almost 30% in the last 3 months. So it's interesting to see this one as well. This is one of my favorite cards, and probably my favorite that TCG Player actually mentioned in their list. The Altaria EX. You look at this card in English, it costs over double this, what it costs in Japanese. This one is $40.81, but it's also up 40% in the last 3 months. Like, you could have got this for 28 bucks. It's now sitting at around about 40. So these older sets, they're not something to take your eyes off. And, you know, just rolling straight into an absolute banger is the Bubble Mew. The Bubble Mew for me is one of the top cards out of all of the Scarlet Violet era, in my opinion. I have my English one away being graded still currently. It's been there for almost 3 months, and I'm hoping PSA can get their act together and get my cards back. But in saying that, the Bubble Mew is really awesome, even in Japanese, sitting at around $200 right now USD, which is up 25% from the 157 you could have got it at 3 months ago. But if you go back 6 months, you could have got it at $72. If you go back a year, like, it was sitting at $63 when this set first came out and nobody really wanted it. So this goes to show that within less than a 12-month period, what was this? This was October. It was sitting around the $70 mark back in October, and now it's sitting at like $200. So these Japanese sets are not ones to sleep on. In a year, that's 210% up on what its previous price was when it first came out. So when you look at some of the sets we're going to talk about in a minute with the more recent stuff, there is going to be a point where that stuff hits a low. If you get in at that point and then you sit on it for 6 months to a year, it is likely to increase if it is some of the bangers like we're seeing in this list. Again, one of the top chase cards, this is the Charizard EX from Ruler of the Black Flame, which is Obsidian from the English counterpart. But again, Obsidian Flames, it's really hard to get right now, whereas Ruler of the Black Flame is not. So again, being able to purchase this card itself right now at $104, compare this to a year ago, this card was $75. So not as drastic of an increase as the Bubble Mew, but still something to consider when you're looking at Japanese purchases. Now, that was really all TCG Player had on their list. So I thought I'd go ahead and grab a few more Japanese cards, and it's pretty much like 10 Japanese cards that I think are potentially long-term investments that are going to go up in the future and continue going up. They've already been going up, but I think they will continue. And of course, there's a few from 151 on here. The first one being the Charizard SAR. This is sitting at $200 right now with a 20% increase in the last 3 months. However, from when it came out a year ago, you can see it was at $110 back in October, so not even a year. This product is absolutely rocketing up in price. Even in the last 6 months, it's up like 65%. But to be at $200 when you could have got it for $100 towards the end of last year, that just goes to show the strength of the Japanese cards are there as well. It's not just the English stuff. Now, I wanted to show one going down, which is the Mew EX. Now, this is a promo card in English from the UPC, so it's nowhere near as valuable in English as it is in Japanese, because you actually have to pull this as an SAR out of a booster box. So the Bubble Mew, not the Bubble Mew, the 151 Mew in this one, $80 right now. 6 months ago, you were looking at $54. And then if we go back as far as we can for the listings on this one, it was $45. So almost half the price you could have got this for. So again, when you're looking at these Japanese sets, look at the top hits, figure out what is going to work long term, when you can pick it up for a good price, and then if you can, 6 to 12 months time, it could potentially be at a good profit. And the other really good thing about Japanese sets is that they grade really, really well. So if you're interested in submitting cards for grading, there are high chances that Japanese cards, because of the quality, the printing, everything that you need for good grading scores is ingrained in Japanese printing facilities. Like, I cannot believe the amount of quality that are in the SARs from the Japanese version in comparison to the English version. Not to say English doesn't look good, but Japanese just looks better. Now, moving on from Mew, let's look at the Blastoise from 151. This is $66 right now. And again, you could have bought this way back a while ago for $36. So again, almost double the price. The Venusaur isn't up as much. It's only up 3% in 3 months, but it is up 130% since October last year. So it was 31 bucks back then. It's 71 now, which is crazy that the Venusaur is actually more expensive than the Blastoise. I don't know why that is in Japanese, but it's just really interesting to me to see the different parallels between the English and the Japanese version of these sets. Next up, let's look at Terastal. There's a couple here from Terastal Festivals. The Umbreon, of course, being the big chase. $345 right now. This one's on a decline, so it's down 10% in the last 3 months. If you look at where this came out, it was 346 when it started. It's now 345, so it is just below its original pre-release price, which is interesting. But again, in saying that, this card could potentially drop a little bit further before it tends to spike back up. So it's one thing to keep note of, is that we haven't really seen too much movement on it upwards lately. So there's potential it could go down. And if you look at the sales numbers behind it, it has been going down in sales on TCG Player 2, which to me tells me that I could be seeing a lower price in the near future. And at that point, when it does start to level out, that's probably a buying time for the Umbreon. Sylveon, same sort of result, has gone down back under its pre-release price. So it was $129 originally, down to, what are we looking at, $126, $127 now. So it's basically where it was pre-release. And it's interesting because, like, I guess, well, not pre-release necessarily, but it did get down to $93 after the launch, and then back up to $127. So this is really interesting. Pre-release, sorry, it was $161. I will correct myself there. But again, it's down to $127 now. If you ask me, this is a $150 plus card. Like, I fully expect this to go back up in the future, even though it is 21% down right now. But this is one that I think, even if you were to buy it now, I think if you give it 6 months to a year, it will be more in value than it is right now. And not even by a little bit. Like, I can see this being a $180, $200 card come this time next year. It's just a matter if you're patient, you hold on to things, and you can take care of them. Or if you want to submit it for grading, you'll get a nice little multiplier on there as well. Now, let's look at some of the new sets that have come out. So Battle Partners, which is Journey Together. This is the Lily's Clefairy. Look at the drop off on this card since release. It is down nearly 50%, and it is all the way down to 258. Now, one thing I did learn when I was in Japan is cards like this with the trainers, like the female trainers on them, the waifu cards, I guess a lot of people call them. These things are expensive out there. Like, some of them, and a lot of them, are way more expensive than the English versions, which is weird to me because, like, you would think the Pokemon would be the priority. It's not. A lot of these female trainer cards are so expensive in Japan. And, you know, Lily's Clefairy sitting at 258 now, being down from 512 pre-release. That's absolutely insane. And I definitely see this being one of those $300 to $400 cards in the future. I just think right now people aren't looking at Battle Partners because everyone's focused on the glory of Team Rocket and also the English counterpart sets that are coming out. I can't even find Journey Together, guys. So to be honest, that's crazy. Let's go back to Shiny Treasures, which was Paldean Fates. The Charizard is up 25% right now, and you start to see a trend. These older sets are going up, the newer sets are going down, which means if the newer sets are going down now, in the future, if we wait long enough, those newer ones to us now will probably rise back up. I'm not going to say 100% for sure because I don't know the market and I can't see the future, but I would estimate that they will go up in value. So Charizard up 25% in the last couple of months. The Gardevoir is up 33% in the last couple of months. Looking at V-Star Universe, you've got the Giratina, which is up 25% in the last few months. This one from V-Star Universe, which is Crown Zenith. And then another popular card is the Mewtwo V-Star. I almost picked this up while I was in Japan. It's $50 US. It is currently 22% up. And to be honest, I saw this for like $40 Australian while I was out there. So I probably should have picked it up because that's like $25 to $30 US, I want to say, which is super cheap. But Again, I picked up that many cards while I was out there. I took advantage of some extremely good bargains in comparison to like the English versions of the cards. So I'm really happy with what I got. But I definitely know when I go back next time, I'm going to be keeping a sharper eye on a lot of these Japanese cards that will potentially look to increase in the future, and see if I can get some of them in that sweet spot between where, you know, they've dropped down after they've released and they've hit that low. If I can pick them up around that time and then wait till sort of this time next year when they're 6-12 months since their release date and they're, you know, skyrocketing back up like some of the cards we saw on this list. Now, with that said, that's everything for today's video. I do just want to finish off by saying that I will be starting a Discord server. If it is ready by the time this video goes out, you can join that down in the description below. I would love to have you guys all in there so that we can talk about everything Pokemon related. You guys can suggest video ideas, things that you want to see on the channel, as well as regular giveaways and announcements that have to do with the channel as well. So if you guys are interested in something like that, make sure you check the description. And if it's not there for this video, it will hopefully be there by the time I upload the next video, which is where we're also going to announce the giveaway for our 3K ETB. So make sure you guys are tuning into the next video as well. With that said, thank you all for tuning into another one. I will catch you guys in the next video.